gone, how miracles in white. Red for those who lend a hand because they see the need. United in one spirit and the same blood we all bleed. Let's light up that pretty night sky together. We're gonna overcome the darkness with a love that shines forever. Our lantern's glow reflects our hope in a future oh so bright. We're hand in hand across this land. You know we're gonna light the night and shine so bright. Oh, we're gonna win this fight. Yeah, we're gonna light the night. May seem half empty, but it's sure filling up fast. We're here to change the future from the pain that's in our past. Just because it's always been doesn't mean it has to be. We can make a difference. Take this walk of faith with me. Let's light up that pretty night sky together. Gonna overcome the darkness with the love that shines forever. Our lantern's glow reflects our hope in a future oh so bright. We're hand in hand across this land. You know we're gonna light the night. Oh, when our lights all shine together, it sure is a beautiful sight. Go to all the loved ones gone, our miracles in white. Red for those who lend a hand because they see the need. United in one spirit and the same blood we are.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our Light the Night region-wide kickoff here in the Eastern Great Lakes region, which covers Northern Ohio, Western and Central New York, and Western Pennsylvania. I'm Dave Graber. I'm a member of the 2021 Buffalo Executive Committee. I'm also a news anchor here at WIVB TV in Buffalo, which is the CBS affiliate. I'll be your host for today's Zoom program. Of course, it's a platform that all of us have gotten very used to over the past year. And although I know many of you have been using Zoom quite a bit, I want to start by making sure that we know how we'll be using today's platform. Now, all of your microphones and cameras have been turned off as we'll be using the poll and chat functions during today's event as well. If you're not familiar with the chat function, it is right in the bottom middle portion of your screen. I will prompt you occasionally throughout this presentation to head there and answer some questions and some polls. You'll see a poll, in fact, pop up a little bit later in your screen. And if you have any issues at any time, please use the chat function and send a note to LTN staff as opposed to the entire group. That way we'll be able to get your questions and concerns answered right away. Also, as a reminder, we will be recording the session so we can all have access to it later. First and foremost, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules. I promise we'll make it worth your while. We certainly have an incredible group with us today, so please let us know that you're here. Again, using that Zoom chat function, share your name and share your team name, and maybe a personal or professional person that you know in your life will look familiar. That's because the kind of people who are passionate about helping others tend to stick together. So that's a good thing. As of today, we are about a month and a half away from the first virtual Light the Night happening in Syracuse. Now, I know I am excited to see our communities come together virtually for one spectacular night, and I am thrilled that all of you have joined us to make this year's Light the Night the best and most successful event that it can be for all of our patients and their caregivers. Now, before we dive into some of the details of Light the Night and how we want this year to be a successful fundraiser, let's start a little bit with the LLS mission. LLS began out of one family's grief way back in the 1940s when they lost their 16-year-old son to leukemia, which was then known as an incurable disease. For more than 70 years, the people of LLS have worked tirelessly to find and fund the latest research and deliver essential care directly to the people who need it most. Blood cancer patients, of course, and their families. Now, there are more than 1.4 million people in the United States living right now with blood cancer. And the heartbreaking fact is that someone loses their battle to blood cancer every 9 minutes. That's why we need your support to raise money to fund more research and to pay for critical care. Although only 10% of all cancers are considered blood cancers, consider this: 40% of all cancer drugs were first approved by the FDA for blood cancers. And last year, LLS helped to advance 14 of the 17 blood cancer treatments that were approved by the FDA. Now, at LLS, we all like to say beating cancer is in our blood, and these facts certainly illustrate the truth in that statement. Plus, LLS, moves fast to tackle our greatest challenges. Consider this too. Within 3 weeks of the COVID-19 pandemic being declared, LLS launched its COVID-19 patient financial aid program, which provided an astounding $4.8 million in immediate direct financial relief to almost 20,000 blood cancer patients and their families. That is just an amazing number. At LLS, our mission statement begins with the word cure. Cure leukemia, lymphoma, Hodgkin's disease, and myeloma, and improve the quality of life for patients and their families. And we are able to advance further this mission through the money that's given and raised by people just like all of you who have joined us today. But as we say each and every year, our work is not done. I'm sure the majority of you on this call today have been affected in some way by cancer, whether you've battled yourself, whether you know someone who's battling or has battled, or whether you've sadly lost someone who you love to these terrible diseases. And we are honored to have someone here with us today who has heard the words, "You have cancer." And she has been kind enough to join us and tell her story. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Angelina Shilkowski. Angelina, take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name's Angelina Shilkowski, and in October of 2005, my husband and I found out we were pregnant with our second child. It was, well, what we thought a pretty normal pregnancy until we got some blood work back that wasn't so routine. And in December of 2005, while I was 3 months pregnant, I found out that I had chronic myeloid leukemia. Those next 6 months were stressful, to say the least. But on May 26, 2006 came, Isaiah, 8 pounds, 6 ounces, baby boy was born, healthy. And that's when my journey began. I started researching the drug that I was going to be on, the chemotherapy, and I realized that there was a connection with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. When I started researching it, I saw that the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society helped Dr. Brian Druker, help advance Gleevec. And that's when I knew I had to get started with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and also Light the Night. My family then in 2007 started our team Agent Orange, searching for a cure. And since then, we've raised over $100,000 for the Greater Alleghenies Walk. I eventually became a volunteer, a committee member, and then I was lucky enough to turn a passion into a career, and I'm now a staff person at LLS. During the past 14 years, I've been on Gleevec, and within 6 months, I was considered in remission. And this past September, I went for one of my every 3 month checkups to the doctor. And during that time, he said to me, let's go off of Gleevec. I was a little nervous, but this September, I will actually hopefully be 1 year of treatment-free remission. And I owe it all to LLS. If they wouldn't have been able to help Dr. Brian Drucker, I wouldn't be here today. So when I go out and I speak with people and I tell people my story, I'm living proof that when you give donations to Light the Night, it's going where it needs to. I want to thank you guys very much, and I'm going to turn it back to Dave.
Angelina, thank you so much for sharing your story and providing us a little bit of insight into your personal battle with this disease. Folks, there are thousands, tens of thousands of people all across the U.S. who have their own personal battle. And not only are we glad to hear the good news about Angelina, but we're certainly glad, Angelina, to have you as a member of LLS. All right, you've heard a quick snapshot on LLS and why we continue to work so hard every day to find a cure. Now let's talk a little bit about why we are all here today for LLS and especially for Light the Night. But before we dive into some of the details of that campaign, we would love to hear how many years you have participated in Light the Night. So now we're going to go back to that chat function, and a poll is going to appear on your screen. Please click on the number of years that you have been involved with Light the Night, or if you are new with us today. Remember, you want to click on and submit your answer, and that poll should disappear. We'll take a look at some of those answers in just a minute. A little bit about my background. A couple of years ago, I believe about 4 or 5 years ago now, I think it's been, I did my first Light the Night, and the folks from LLS and our staff here in Buffalo tried to prepare me and kind of say, you know, this is something that is pretty emotional, and but you want to, you know, read over the script and really take a look at it so you understand what's going to happen. And I kind of brushed it off thinking, oh, this is fine. I host these types of events all the time. Let me be the first to tell you folks that for my first Light the Night, I was not ready. I was not ready for the lantern ceremony. For those of you who have been a part of that amazing moment in what is a fantastic event each and every year, you can never be ready for it. And here I am 4 or 5 years in, hosting and having a blast each and every year. And it's still gives me chills and brings tears to my eyes as we see the sea of people in front of us shining and hoisting their lanterns. And it is great news that if you take a look at the poll results right now, almost 30% of us have been in it for 10 or more years. That is great, great news. Another 30% at 4 to 6. That's where I am. And even 20% of you, good to see. This is your first time participating. So for all of you who this is your first time, welcome, number one. Number two, welcome to making a difference, because this event, unlike many others out there, especially for national organizations, this makes a big, big difference. And it is just an amazing event. It really is. We are going to talk a little bit about now why Light the Night is unique. It is because it takes place after dark, of course. It features those one-of-a-kind illuminated lanterns. You see a picture just like that. There is nothing I can tell you as a host, as an MC, to looking out and seeing that sea of lanterns, and also being among the crowd, lifting those lanterns to tell you exactly what they mean. And here's a little bit about what they do mean. Gold lanterns are carried by those who light the night in memory of someone they've lost to cancer. Those white lanterns are carried by those who are battling or who have survived cancer. And red lanterns are carried by those who support the cause and simply want to see an end to cancer once and for all. So when folks arrive at the event, they're able to do a number of activities. Everyone goes and picks up their appropriate lantern and they get ready. As I mentioned earlier, here in the Eastern Great Lakes region, our virtual walks start on October 7th, with Syracuse kicking us off. This year will be our virtual event's regional goal, as you see right there on your screen, $295,000. Now, to get things rolling, we have several organizations within our region that are stepping up and making the commitment to support LLS and our Light the Night walks with their sponsorship. So as you see right there on your screen, these are our top 2021 Light the Night sponsors in our region. So we certainly appreciate all of these companies, their involvement. They are an instrumental piece of hitting and exceeding our 2021 fundraising goals. Our sponsors will have engaging and interactive activations actually at Light the Night. So be sure to visit them and say thank you for their incredible support. Each of them will have a booth or a tent or something like that. And we always like to tell our folks to stop by and say thank you and maybe share a story or hear a story or two. Now, the most successful fundraisers for Light the Night are those who are part of a team. Teams come in all types and all sizes, from corporations to families to groups of friends and neighbors or classmates. But the one thing they all have in common, as you can see in these pictures, is they truly have a lot of fun in fundraising. And typically, these teams raise more money than just about anyone else. Teams have always been sort of the backbone to Light the Night. And today I want you to meet one of our most passionate and motivating team captains who's going to tell you a little bit about starting and building a powerhouse team. I can assure you his team has been, is, and certainly will be a powerhouse team. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome now to the mic from Erie Insurance on the financial team, Michael Sparks. Michael, take it away.
Thank you, Dave. In 2012, my son just wasn't feeling well. Michael had pain in his jaw and his neck, and his doctors kept prescribing him more pain medications. Fortunately, my wife demanded a blood test, and we received a call early the next morning ordering to the hospital for more blood tests. Then we heard those 4 words that every parent does not want to hear. Your child has cancer. In fact, Michael's diagnosis was acute myeloid leukemia, or AML. You know, we began looking on the internet because we had no idea what AML was, but we quickly found ourselves going down a rabbit hole of misinformation. The nurses at the hospital had the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society contact us and offer us their website and the local support group. They also sent us more information on AML. After nearly 2 years of hospital visits and chemotherapy, Michael was able to get a bone marrow transplant at the Cleveland Clinic and eventually became cancer-free. In fact, he returned to college. He graduated, and last year he got married. Those first couple of years, I formed a small friends and family team at work, and then I formed an official corporate team supported by my workplace, Erie Insurance. These first fundraisers were very high effort, but low return on investment. I tried things like candy bar sales and car rallies and the like. After a couple of years, it dawned on me. I learned I cannot do it all alone and formed committees in 2 main areas. One was for the fundraising for all of the department sub-teams of Erie Insurance for Light the Night Walk, and the other was for the corporate supported fundraising events. Early on, when I shared my story, I found out there were other Erie Insurance employees, children, family members, or friends who were also fighting blood cancer. And I suggested LLS for their support. Now I want to share with you some things I learned over 6 years with our team total raising $250,000. I found by letting each team find their individual fundraising focus, they enjoyed the work more and were more successful. Some teams like to do a bingo with their coworkers at lunch. Others did a luncheon selling pizza or subs and made a few bucks on each order. Others did gift baskets, auctions, car washes, and garage sale types of events. For corporate fundraising, we did some other things, such as a pumpkin carving contest, where employees and their family members would carve a pumpkin, take a picture, then people would vote on it by donating. We also tried an e-gift card raffle. Both of these 2 things were very low effort, but high return on investment. And both of these each raised $5,000. This year, Erie Insurance gave us August for our fundraising month, so we're trading in the pumpkin carving contest for a sand creation contest where the donated dollars are the votes. Pre-pandemic, we had an extremely large corporate fundraiser, which we're now planning for next year. It's called Light the Block. We close down the street in downtown Erie and hold a humongous big block party fundraising events. We bring in a band, we team up with an adjacent restaurant called the Tap House for the food and drink, and we put together a casino type of event with gambling events such as blackjack, wheel games, and dice games. All of these winners would earn a ticket to a grand prize experience raffle. These prizes would be such things as sideline tickets to an NCAA Division I basketball game, or an NFL game, or a Major League Baseball game, or even a Lake Erie fishing expeditions. And all of these experiences came with hotel accommodations and dinner, plus the experience itself. This event raised $10,000 and took a lot of preparation and a lot of commitment from the team. A final tip I do is ask their donors if their employer offers matching gifts. Erie Insurance generously offers matching gifts on donations of $25 and above. And we remind employees to do the match and not leave any extra money on the table. It's like magic, I say. To people who hand me a 20, I said, I'll turn that 20 into 50 by you only adding a $5 bill. You know, I have seen the LLS treatment since Michael was first diagnosed. These great advances offer great hope for the day when we will not have to put the poison of chemotherapy into the patient's body, but use these new genetic treatments, all being funded and researched with your generous dollars raised for LLS. Thank you.
Michael, thank you so much for sharing your personal story, and huge thank you for your tireless efforts year in and year out. Just absolutely amazing, and some really, really good ideas as well. If I could take a little bit of a minute, just a quick minute to talk about some of the virtual experiences, which is what we all are going to be doing here and in the coming weeks and months. Although the past 3 or 4 years have been in person, the past year has been a year filled with virtual events, something that we're all now pretty used to. I didn't know how these virtual events would really go, if they would stack up to being in person. Certainly the biggest aspect of this, would they be able to raise the amount of money that we need to fund treatments and research for cures and to support these families and these patients. And I am excited and humbled by the fact that we were able to, in a year of full virtual activities, things like Light the Night and our galas and our boy and girl and man, woman of the year events, we raised a tremendous amount of money here just in Buffalo and in our region. So huge thank you for those of you who might be their first virtual experience for an event like Light the Night. Know and be confident going in that these will be successful. Our LLS staff has been all over these, and they have pivoted and learned quickly to do an excellent job, just like they do for the in-person events, they do virtually. So be confident in that moving forward. Now, let's get a little bit interactive with some of the things that Mike has given us some ideas about. What I want you to do now is use that chat feature. You'll see it popping up occasionally to start talking about how you want to achieve your team goal, whether it's some of the ideas borrowing from what Mike had said, or maybe you have some ideas in and of yourself. That is good. We'll read out some of those because obviously what we're trying to do is to kind of share across these platforms with what we can think about for your goals. So tell me a little bit about what your goals would be for this year for our Light the Night events. All right, excellent. Personal asks. We got folks wanting to raise $1,000. That is huge, Becca. We appreciate that. Angelina sharing $12,000 for Team Agent Orange, a lemonade stand and a golf outing. We are, at least here in Buffalo, and I'm sure down there in Erie as well, most of our region, we are in the perfect weather for not only a golf outing, but especially a lemonade stand as well. And really good idea there from Pam, talking about fundraising on social media platforms like Facebook are always very successful. Find your niche, find your special and favorite social media platform, and get out there hosting a beer and wine tasting fundraiser. That is a good idea. That one certainly has my stamp of approval. Everyone, thank you so much for your ideas. Keep them coming because we want to continue this to be interactive. Our fundraising goal for the 2021 Region Virtual Light the Night Walk is, as you see again, I'll remind you, $295,000. And we are excited about this number this year, because although it might sound like a lot, if we all work together, not only can we meet that goal of just shy of $300,000, but I think we can beat it. I talked a couple of minutes ago about the success, to my quite frankly surprise, of these virtual events over the past year, but each of them, we exceeded our goal. And in some cases, we far exceeded our goals on these virtual events, which makes them that much more rewarding and that much more appreciative of everyone who participated. We've brought in the right people to give you the tips that you all need to be successful. So let me do that right now and bring those folks on. These are from our local LLS region. This is Tiffany Rolick and Becca Gregory. Ladies, take it away.
Thank you, Dave, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Becca Gregory, the Campaign Development Manager in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. On behalf of the entire staff here in the Eastern Great Lakes region, I just want to thank you for helping us light the night this year. I'm here to talk to you about how to be a successful fundraiser for the patients and caregivers that LLS serves. The most important thing that you can do is register. So if you haven't already, register your team now. Second, register your teammates. Get everyone you can, your family members, friends, coworkers, and classmates. It is easy and free. So get your teammates over to the website and register today. We have a QR code to our region's event page that you should see on your screen now. You can scan the QR code with your phone, and you will be directed to the Light the Night page with our region's events listed. Find your event and register. We have also provided the Light the Night URL in the chat feature. So please register now if you have not already done so. Don't worry, we do not mind if you multitask for a couple of minutes. The next step is to set up your online fundraising page. Research shows that people who customize their personal page raise 3 times more than people who just leave the page as a template. What does personalizing your page mean? It means uploading photos of you, your team, and the people you are walking in honor of. And it means writing a short but impactful message about why you light the night. The more personal, the better. While your friends are technically donating to LLS, they are really donating to you and your why. This page is where you set up your personal fundraising goal, and your donors can make quick, easy, and secure donations to help you meet and beat that goal. The average raised per person across the country is $400. So set your goal high. And as I'm sure you can imagine, we love it when you have fundraising success. So we make it super easy to increase your goal once you meet it. Be sure to link your fundraising page to a Facebook fundraiser. It is important when setting up your Facebook fundraiser to do this through your fundraising page as shown on this slide. Did you know that setting up a Facebook fundraiser will give you the opportunity to raise up to 5 times more money? Please utilize this successful and easy to use feature to raise more money for patients and their caregivers. One of the best ways to kickstart your fundraising and to lead by example is by giving a personal and meaningful gift. It shows that you are committed to your campaign, and it will motivate potential donors to at least match what you've contributed. Also, don't forget to use email and your social media platforms to help spread the word and raise more money. Walkers who send multiple emails to potential donors raise 10 to 15 times more than those who don't. Our system makes it so easy to tap into multiple social outlets. It is a great way to let people know why you light the night. And you can send them thank you shout outs using platforms like Facebook, and make sure you tag your donors when you do. To keep you on track to reach your fundraising goals, we also have some brand new tools. For all of the team captains out there in the audience, we have a 10-week team captain guide for you to help with your personal fundraising. And for all of our participants, we have a 6-week guide for you, which will help you achieve and exceed all of your fundraising goals. You can find all of these tools at www.lightthenight.org, or we are also happy to send them your way. Fundraising for Light the Night brings a lot of great benefits. The biggest one is helping LLS fund more research and care to bring us closer to an end of cancer. But everybody likes prizes and to be treated like a VIP. So we've come up with some really great incentives to motivate you to hit your fundraising goal. We have a gift to reward you for reaching $100 and becoming a champion for cures. Everyone this season wants to be seen in a limited edition Light the Night graphic tee for raising $100. Your shirt will be mailed to you again this year. Once you have raised $100, be on the lookout for an automated email sent to you to confirm your mailing address and shirt size. And everyone who raises $1,000 or more becomes a bright light and receives a special bright light long sleeve tech shirt. Last year, our bright lights here from Toledo, Erie, Syracuse, and our Greater Alleghenies events raised more than $53,000. That's incredible. Speaking of bright lights and individual fundraising, we have one of our best and brightest here with us today. He's been a rock star fundraising for the Cleveland Light the Night event and is going to tell you a bit about how he does so well with his fundraising. Please welcome Mark Nylander.
Thank you, and hello to everyone joining us for this Light the Night kickoff. Like so many of you, I have a very personal reason for lighting the night. My journey to speak to you here today started in 2013. That's when I heard those words that both Angelina and Michael heard, the 3 words from my doctor that no one wants to hear. You have cancer. My diagnosis of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma was followed by 6 rounds of chemotherapy under the special care of the doctors, nurses, and staff at the Cleveland Clinic. I am now in my 8th year of remission and remain cancer-free. In 2014, I became involved with LLS and Light the Night and have been actively working to increase awareness and raised funds to help find a cure for blood cancers and improve the quality of life for patients and their families. I was asked to spend the short time that I have today to share some of the fundraising ideas that I have found to be successful. So here are 8 thoughts to consider, and from my own experience, I'm confident they'll work for you. First, in all of your communication to potential donors, focus on the key things they want to know. Be specific and share information and statistics about the impact their donation will have. Tell compelling stories about your involvement in the LLS that brings a personal touch to the ask. Number 2, personalize your fundraising page. I update my story and add a new photo each year. For donors visiting your page, this sends a strong message about your commitment to fundraising and your support for the LLS mission. If you have difficulty editing your page, someone from the LLS team can help. Third, conduct a letter writing campaign to your contacts list. Every year, I prepare a 1-page letter with a photo and mail in a red envelope so it stands out and gets opened. I know this works because I see a spike in my donations shortly after the letters are mailed. I typically send an email and post on social media as a follow-up to the letter, so I am reaching my potential donors in multiple ways. 4, consider the ways you can get creative with your campaign. Our team has hosted an annual beer and wine tasting fundraiser with tickets to the event and a raffle that generates thousands of fundraising dollars. Last year, we sold LLS branded socks and hosted a virtual holiday concert. Well, there may be some upfront costs for these types of fundraisers. You can offset those costs with corporate or business sponsorships in exchange for an acknowledgement and a thank you. Number 5, don't forget to inquire about matching donations that your employer may offer. This is easy money. 6, solicit donations or support from businesses or corporations where you have contacts. Focus on local businesses where you can engage with a decision maker versus a large organization with a corporate giving policy that you may need to navigate. Also, think about local retailers and ask if they will support your campaign. Something as simple as placing a donation jar at the checkout can generate fundraising dollars. It's worked for me. 7, don't become discouraged. No response does not mean no. Statistics confirm that a minimum of 3 rounds of contacts is often needed to generate a response. A friendly reminder or nudge to someone who may have opened your first email or put your letter aside is often appreciated. And finally, don't forget to say thank you. I commit to getting my thank yous out within 24 hours of the donation confirmation. Your follow-up correspondence should do more than just serve as a tax receipt. Be specific about the impact the donation will have. Your donor will feel more connected to your cause and will appreciate knowing that you and LLS are being good stewards of their money. I hope you found these ideas and suggestions useful. Thanks again for all you do to support the LLS mission, and have a great fundraising year.
Thank you, Mark, for sharing your successes with us. I'm sure you're all ready to rock your fundraising for 2021 Light the Night. So we're going to get interactive again. Please use the chat feature to share your personal fundraising goal with us and the rest of the Eastern Great Lakes region. I see Allison putting in $1,000. Catherine is at $2,000. Thanks, Catherine. Angelina, 2,500. Mark at 10,000. Super excited to see these numbers come through. Thank you, guys. I'm inspired by all of you and will be upping my personal fundraising goal this year as well. Thank you for thinking big, and I can't wait to see what we can put together in 2021. While we are on the topic of individual fundraising and its importance, I want to be sure to introduce you to the Executive Challenge. Many of our region's Executive Challenges are here today. We have over 60 challengers across the region, and they have pledged to raise at least $325,000 through their organization and personal networks. If you're interested in joining our Executive Challenge, the 6 to 8 week competition where the most dedicated and resourceful fundraisers in our community battle it out for bragging rights and the chance to appear in Forbes, let's chat. Before I go, I've got a few tips to help you jumpstart your fundraising. A lot of people ask, who in the world am I going to ask for donations? Well, the simple answer is everyone. A popular saying in what we do is the surefire way to not get a donation is to not ask for one. Once you explain why you light the night and how much good the money you raise is going to do, a lot of those individuals will donate. And I bet some of them will give you more than you ever imagined. The world we are living in is hard, but now more than ever, everyone is looking to make a difference. Remember, every dollar counts. So get out there and use the tools we provide to ask early and ask often. and I know you'll get a return on your efforts. And don't forget about those valuable matching gifts we heard about today. Remind your donors to see if their company offers matching gifts. And if they do, check the box on the online donation form. This is an easy way to double your impact. Thank you. And excuse me. And lastly, to help set up your successes, we have one more question for you today. We know the audience today and is in a different place in their Light the Night journey, and we want to see how we can best help you. Please take a moment to complete the poll on your screen to note where you are in your Light the Night experience or how you would like to get further involved with the LLS mission. Thank you. A member of a Light the Night team will be in touch with you shortly to discuss how we best can help you. Don't forget, register, set up and personalize your online fundraising page, make it personal, and never forget that you are helping LLS fund research and care what is absolutely positively save lives. So ask everyone. Remember that your local LLS staff is here to help you every step of the way. Please let us help you when you need it. I want to give you a glimpse of the passion and excitement the Light the Night experience creates for our participants. Enjoy.
Leukemia Lymphoma Society is an amazing organization. They support so much research, and Light the Night means a celebration of survivorship, a celebration of everyone coming together with a common goal and supporting each other through such a tough thing as dealing with cancer.
This is my second family. You know, I'm a survivor. An organization like this and a night like this, I feel like I'm at a family reunion. People are here for the same cause. For some, they've lost people to this disease, so it may be somber. For others, they beat the disease, so it's victorious. But I feel like I'm just with a bunch of people that are here for the same reason, to really bring awareness to this disease.
One of the things that's so fantastic about the Light the Night program is that it brings together patients, caregivers, survivors, and other people who support those that have been affected by these really difficult diseases.
The purpose of participating is to really feel the energy of the community. Without the support of people like the people who are here tonight, they just can't do all the amazing work and research that they're able to do. They bring groundbreaking treatments to all forms of leukemia and lymphoma, and advancements that are necessary to help cure and treat.
As a cancer survivor, I feel that Light the Night is very important. This event truly gives survivors hope. When I was pregnant with my daughter Charlotte, I was diagnosed with lymphoma, and I went through chemotherapy during the pregnancy. When I came here and looked around and saw all the survivors and white lanterns and all the support, it gave me hope and strength to keep going.
As a survivor, to participate in an event like this is really extraordinary. It's very humbling. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude, and I just get choked up when I think about people coming together for a common cause. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a really good example of what that amazing night is filled with. Sort of togetherness, everyone kind of literally walking and figuratively moving in the same direction of a goal for, of course, a world without cancer. I am super excited and cannot wait to lift my lantern virtually with all of you this year. Now, before we close, I want to do one more thing. I want to introduce you to our 2021 National Honored Hero. This is Caden. Caden, in April of 2020, after weeks of leg pain, fevers, and testing, his family received the news that he had acute lymphoblastic leukemia. At first, Caden was considered a standard risk, but after the bone marrow sample results came in, doctors diagnosed him with Philadelphia chromosome positive, and that meant that he was at a higher risk. Caden is currently undergoing treatment, experiencing some side effects, things like stomach pain and mouth sores and hair loss. But one thing that he will never lose, thankfully, is the support of his loving family. Over the next couple of weeks, we're all going to have the chance to light the night together for Caden, for our loved ones. And that might seem like a long way away, but it is not. I assure you, it will be here before you know it. I really hope today's kickoff has motivated you to not only register, but to start fundraising and spreading the word about LLS and about Light the Night. Cancer is not canceled, despite the fact that so much of our society is. And patients need our support now more than ever. Together, we will reach, and I believe, quite frankly, we will exceed that goal of $295,000 for patients and their caregivers. As a member of the Light the Night family, please join us in bringing a light to the darkness of cancer for people like Caden and all the patients and their families who have loved ones or who have lost loved ones to blood cancer. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. I and some of our other LLS staff will stay on for a couple of minutes longer in case anyone has any questions or comments about Light the Night and or LLS. Thank you again for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of your day.
The glass may seem half empty, but it's sure filling up fast. We're here to change the future from the pain that's in our past. Just because it's always been doesn't mean it has to be. We can make a difference.
Yay. Job well done, everybody. I apologize on that last poll.